Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Brutes, where we tell the stories behind your favorite beer. This is Sound Guy Ryan, and joining me as always is Matt and Erica and our new friend, Gus.
Yeah, our new friend, Gus.
Hi, Gus.
Who is only our friend this week, and next week we'll hate him. No, I'm just kidding.
Aw, that's terrible.
We will not. But we're gonna...
Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'll be your friends beyond this week, so it's all good over here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Good.
We're going to tell more about Gus in a little bit, but Ryan, you kind of sounded depressed in that intro.
No, man.
Are you like dismayed because you don't have a Halloween costume picked out?
I'm going to wear nothing. Naked in the street. Yep.
Naked and afraid, Ryan. Erica, what are you going to be?
Just going to be me.
Just you?
Yeah.
That's scary.
I know. Me and my laugh.
Yeah. Ooh, spooky.
So crazy.
I'm going to be Gek from Therapy Gecko, and if those out there know, if you know, you know. But I got a gecko costume, painted my face green, and I'm going to be drunk and give people advice.
That's
Hell yeah.
great. It's Therapy Gecko?
Therapy Gecko.
Yeah.
Not
At
Gecko
Lyle.
like Geico.
No, at Lyle forever. Not friends with him. Have no affiliation with this podcast or his podcast, but
Check it out.
I enjoy it, and it's worth a laugh. It's pretty relaxing. They play some weird jazz behind him, giving unsolicited
Is he
advice.
dressed up every time?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's a lot of work. That's commitment.
He just
It
puts a
is.
gecko costume on and paints his face green.
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
No, I guarantee you we do more work with our podcast, coordinating guests, going to said guests, drinking said beer. He just sits there on a couch and wears a gecko costume. I'm not
I was
minimizing
saying, sounds
it.
pretty chill.
Yeah, I'm not minimizing it, but like, I would prefer to do that sometimes.
All
We
right.
could.
I was imagining him going to like fast food restaurants and stuff and just giving out hugs and just
Oh,
giving people advice.
I like that idea
unsolicited.
too.
Let's not limit Gex just yet. Maybe that's the next endeavor for him, but I don't speak for him.
True.
And but I do speak for the Brewers podcast, and we do have an awesome guest this week, or maybe an epic guest.
What?
Ooh. We have Gus from Epic Brewing. What's up, Gus?
Hey, you guys. Not much. I mean, hanging out, enjoying the change of weather.
Yeah.
And
It was kind of
just happy to be here. Thanks, you guys, for having me.
no problem. It was kind of rude of us. We didn't ask you what you're going to be for Halloween. So what are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm thinking my girlfriend and I will go as Disney characters.
Okay.
So we kind of have a few movies in mind, but we're probably leaning towards Hercules.
No, is that
Okay.
are you like Greek? Is that why? Like you want it to be? Are you like a Greek god?
No, she just likes Hercules.
Oh,
and then we always like to put a fun spin and do like a cross dress. So rather than me be Hercules and her being Meg,
fun.
we'd switch it up just
Why not?
for laughs. Yeah, why not?
That's
I
a
like
good
it.
idea. I should cross dress with Ryan and be Ryan, but not cross dress. I'll just be Ryan.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
I like that. So, yeah, if you want to have awesome episodes like this and awesome intros like this, how can our listeners help us out and do that, Ryan?
Go to www.patreon.com/Brutes podcast.
That's right. And if you want to see exclusive content of my behind the scenes Gek costume, sign up for our Patreon as well. I'm going to post a picture there.
I love it. For $1, you
No
can
balls.
see.
For $1,
you're
you
not
can
gonna do it.
see me in a costume. So we start all of our episodes by asking our guests their first memory of beer and their role at the brewery. So, Gus, take it away.
Ooh, my first memory of beer here at Epic Brewing. Let's see. I started it about halfway through the year last year. So it's about May. And we must have been brewing Los Locos, and that's our Mexican style lager, right around Cinco de Mayo. So I probably had some of that fresh off the line, and ooh, it was crispy. It was delicious. Hit the spot on like a hot day.
Yeah. So that was your first memory of beer, or what was your first memory ever of beer?
Ever? I mean, I guess it depends on if my mom's listening or not.
She is. Yep. We
And that's
She
okay.
is.
She is.
Okay.
Yeah.
She
said
did the
if
same stuff you did.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
She did. It was me and a couple buddies. We got a case of Coors Light, and we just hung out.
Solid.
Just did normal hanging out stuff. I don't know. Sipping on some Coors.
Yeah.
Nothing
Why
too wild.
why Coors and not the other domestic stuff?
Yeah. Why Coors?
Yeah,
That's a good question.
I'm curious.
Yeah, we always ask people like, why was it Schlitz or why was it Coors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking on it, growing up here in Utah, we've got the Rocky Mountains. Coors is probably the closest macro brew.
Yeah.
In terms of just like, regional. So yeah, there's that draw to it. I forget what their slogan is, like "Born in the Rockies" or
It's
something.
cold as the
So,
Rockies.
yeah,
It's
kinda
cold as
hits
the
home.
Rockies. We know. It's all right.
What
Yeah.
beer do you want? The coldest one.
Yeah, that's the coldest one. So yeah, you'd
Where the
want-
mountains turn blue on the can, and
Yes.
it's
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Classy.
So you didn't your role at the brewery?
I'm in marketing.
You're in
so
marketing.
I started out doing like social media and stuff, and it's just kind of grown into a bigger role since then.
Awesome.
Did you go to school for marketing? I'm guessing like drinking, those Coors bullets weren't like a formative time for you, and you're like, I need to get into beer. So what did you do before getting into beer?
Yeah, I went to school for psychology, so pretty closely
similar.
related.
Yep.
A lot of things are applicable. But no, I started by working in research in psychology. So I worked on distracted driving and autonomous vehicles. But back when COVID hit, all human subjects research got its head chopped off. So I ended up looking around for a job, and psychology and marketing are pretty closely related. So I was hired on at Epic.
That's cool.
Nice.
So like distracted driving, meaning like texting and driving.
We
you
did
rolled your eyes.
texting
You
and
rolled your
driving.
and drive. You were like, why does every jerk say this? Come on, give me the real reason. What is autonomous and distracted driving?
I wasn't rolling my eyes. I was thinking, looking
Okay,
up. But
okay.
Yeah, kind of like glanced
Yeah.
quickly. So the lab did some texting and driving. Actually, a few years ago, they did drinking and driving studies. But while I was there, we were working on autonomous vehicles. So
Self-driving vehicles.
we'd basically hook someone up to an EEG and send them on a drive in like a Tesla or a Cadillac,
Hi.
a Volvo. And we just monitor their brainwaves while they're driving.
Whoa. All right, we're going to do another podcast on that one down the road because I'm
Stay
very curious
tuned.
about that. But what was a good fit for Epic with you? It's interesting. You were pretty new to the industry. So what was your exposure to the industry before being in it?
Yeah, the beer scene here in Utah has grown pretty rapidly over the past few years. When Epic started, I want to say there was somewhere on the order of 4 or 5 breweries total in the state. So by the time I hit college, there were new breweries popping up on every corner. And so it was something that I'd like to do on the weekends. With some friends, we'd go brewery hopping, which was something nobody had really been able to enjoy in Salt Lake up until about the mid 2015 or so.
Why is that? Is the beer scene just not growing, or was there rules and regulations due to the state to restrict breweries from being there?
That one.
Yeah.
I knew that. I was just leading in, Ryan.
There's a predominant faith over here. And
Oh, the
they're
Mormons.
pretty-
Yeah. I'll say it. Yeah.
The Mormons.
Yeah.
So the Mormons don't like alcohol. So legislature and just government in general hasn't really been pro alcohol in the past.
Come on, Mitt Romney.
I know, right? All these guys.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
just him.
No, I know. The only reason we can say that he was our governor at one point, so it's like I feel like that's the only person in Utah I know. Other
Oh,
than
yeah.
you guys.
Other than you
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah.
That's true.
Other than
It's a
you
little
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, he was out here back in our Olympic heydays, which is actually kind of when things started to change.
Yep.
So back then, draft beer had to be 3.2% alcohol or lower.
Wow. That's crazy.
And you couldn't sell cold, hot, heavy beer, so anything above that at your craft brewery.
Wow.
So there was a lot of light beer, not a lot of choices, which is actually kind of how Epic got a strong foothold in the communities because a lot changed and we were able to start selling heavy beer and like true to style beer to go cold.
Yeah,
So that was
definitely-
revolutionary.
Yeah, I know
Definitely
you.
seems to be your thing. I feel like I know you guys for like the imperial stouts and
Yeah.
big bold beers.
Yeah, and I mean you're still packaging things not exclusively, but 22-ounce bombers. So getting those big bottles. I mean, I feel like that's like
It's pretty old school around
old
here.
school, yeah. For us. So did you go to school in Salt Lake City?
I did. Yeah, I went to the University of Utah. It's only about 5 minutes away from Epic.
Cool.
Oh, perfect.
Did you find yourself like going to Epic before you worked there, or was like that one of the ones that you were like, I need to go to Epic, or when you saw the job opportunity, you were like, yep, that's my favorite brewery, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was around for sure. I probably didn't drink it as much as other local breweries or as like macro breweries. Um, but yeah, I mean, my whole thought around craft beer and the culture in general is pretty positive. So I think it's a really cool industry to work in. So yeah, that was kind of the gravitating pull towards working for Epic.
Yeah. So tell our listeners who aren't familiar with Epic, like what Epic is about. We kind of tease them with the bigger beers, but when did you guys start? Yeah, tell their story.
Yeah. So I was kind of getting into it a second ago. There were some law changes in Utah, and it allowed us to do that really revolutionary thing of selling cold beer to go. So yeah, which was groundbreaking for Utah. And we kind of stuck to that badass mentality of heavy beer that can get you drunk. We're not selling it for people to get drunk, but in the eyes of the state, like a heavy beer is dangerous.
A sinning beer.
It's strictly for sinning.
Yeah.
In these big formats, the 22-ounce bombers. And yeah, we had a lot of success with that. And since we were able to actually brew beer to style and within Utah, we started winning quite a few awards. So that gave us a lot of traction in the early days. And we expanded both our Utah operation as well as our operation into Colorado. So now we have 2 home bases. Our headquarters are still here in Salt Lake, but we do have a brew house and tap room over in the Rhino district in Colorado.
Cool.
Having the other brewery in Colorado, are there still some rules and regulations that you guys can't get around in Utah that you might want to brew in Colorado? Is that just basically like expansion?
Yeah, the primary reason for expanding into Colorado was escaping our draconian laws here in Utah, like the draft rule. That kind of hurts. So it's actually kind of funny. We had been in business for a few years. We opened in 2008 and we were in Colorado by 2013. And one of our founders, Dave Cole, he's out there and just checking out the neighborhood. And every chance he got, he'd drink our beer on draft. And people would ask him, you're here. Why are you drinking our beer or your own beer? Why aren't you trying what everybody else is drinking and making? And his response was like he'd never had it on draft before.
That's amazing.
Because 99% of our profile is high ABV and we can't have it on draft or in grocery stores here in Utah.
And that's still to this day?
Yeah, still to this day. So in 2019, they raised that 3.2 limit and now it's 5%.
Whoa.
So it's still pretty light.
Yep.
So pretty much everything in grocery stores is a session.
Gus, have you had their beer on draft?
I have. I've been out to our Colorado location, and I made it a point to have our Big Bad Baptist on draft.
That's awesome.
Like, I got to try it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, do a lot of breweries in Salt Lake and in greater Utah, right? Are they brewing just to brew beer for distribution and not the tap room and experience where you have 12 beers on tap and all of them are sessionable beers? You're not having your 8% New England style IPA, you're not having your 7% West Coast IPA, you're certainly not having 11% porter or stout. So you're really offering the light lagers, your sessionable IPAs. Give me more ambers,
right.
like low ABV beers.
Gotcha. Yeah. Here in Utah, the scene is largely the on-site consumption. So most of the newer breweries that have popped up since we came to fruition have focused around those lighter styles, and they primarily offer those right there where it's made, and they're not going into distribution. We're to a point where we are in distribution, but we're trying to keep things unique. So we have a handful of beers that are only available in Utah, and they're only brewed in Utah. Same with Colorado. So the only place to get them is right there at the tap room.
So what are your Utah only beers? I mean, they all have to be sessionable, right?
Right now we've only got 5 beers that are under 5% ABV.
Wow.
So the one, actually, we're just packaging it today,
It's fine. Yeah,
It's fine.
At this present moment, right? This isn't.
It's all good.
Yeah.
yeah, well, we were just packaging it today, Spiral Jetty, and that's definitely the fan favorite here in Utah. And that's an IPA. It's kind of a blend between an East Coast and a West Coast, and
Cool.
yeah. Kind of people in Utah who think Epic think Spiral Jetty IPA.
So that's kind of your flagship, or the one that you guys are most known for.
It's tough to really pinpoint one flagship. I'd say Big Bad Baptist if I really had to pick, but for right here locally, Spiral Jetty is definitely a fan favorite.
I just can't wrap my head around like only having 5% beers. Like that's my dream, to have only 5% beers or lower ABV. But
Sounds like a great place.
sounds like a great place. So we are going to board a jet immediately, and we're going to
Yes.
come over there and drink all of your sessionable beer.
After this
And
quick break.
After this quick break. Take it away, sound guy Ryan.
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BRUTES for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. And we're back. Erica loves it when I do "and we're back," but
In this situation, it works.
and we're back.
And we're back.
Gus, we cracked open the Big Bad Baptiste, the Imperial Stout, 10.5%. I rounded up to 11 because why not? I don't know.
Makes you sound cooler.
I guess.
I just did it.
I just crushed it 11%er, man. Talk about this beer. It is Big Bad and Baptiste, if I would say so myself.
The Big Bad Baptist is our Imperial Stout, and it wasn't the first stout we brewed, but after we had been going for a little bit, we decided to throw some of our Imperial Stout into whiskey barrels. And we barrel age it for 6 months to a year. Really depends on what the cellarmen are feeling. And then we reintroduce it to the fermenter and blend in those cacao nibs and coffee beans. We let that mix up for a little while, and then we put it into package. Bottles or kegs if they're going out of town. And then we just started doing cans actually in our Salt Lake City.
I was going to ask, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What size cans?
For the Baptist, we're only doing 12-ounce cans.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Good.
we've got some other brews that we're doing 16 ounces.
Yeah. Nice.
This is a really, really easy drinkable
Yeah.
Imperial Stout, I have to say.
Yeah, I could have had the whole thing myself.
You could have. I would have paid money to see that, Eric. You
I
would've
mean,
been
it
like-
would have been crazy,
I would've
but
been-
like I wouldn't have even known until the end.
Yeah, I would. I can't say that I would be sober if I drank the whole thing.
No, and that's why
Yeah.
I asked, like what size of a package, right, it was in, because I know drinking like even a 16 ounce of this, right? Dangerous. Very dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Even a 12, I bet you,
Dangerous.
very dangerous, right? Like it sneaks up on you because of how smooth, lots of rich flavors, not boozy. And that's something that I think this beer doesn't have. It doesn't have that booziness like a lot of
Yeah.
Imperial Stouts do have.
Right. There's no burn.
So,
Correct.
all right, here's my controversial opinion.
You're wrong.
Thank you. So controversially, I would drink a 12-ounce 4-pack of these, no problem. I'd probably have one and then revisit another night, so on and so forth. But I hate it when breweries brew 16-ounce formats of pastry stouts because it's like I really never want 16 ounces of marshmallow.
Any high ABV beer.
Any high, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if I wanted that, I want to barrel age it. I want to put it in my cellar, and I want to have it on a special night. So
I want it like this so I can share it.
Exactly.
I guess, I mean, you could still share a 16-ounce can, which I've done before.
I've done
but then
it,
it's
but
like,
then you have
8 ounces.
But then you have 4 of them.
Yeah,
Because
true.
they never just sell
Right.
one 16-ounce
Right.
can. So I appreciate this a lot more.
True.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think that's why we stuck to it. It's that 2-person shareable format, which a lot of craft beer started with and has kind of been centered around. So, yeah, for being here in Utah, it's fun to see these cans. It's nice. But I do prefer the bottle, to be honest.
I thought I would never say I prefer a bottle.
But here we are.
Here we are.
It's great for this style. I think I've definitely said that before. For
Yeah.
a nice big beer, I do really enjoy a 22-ounce bomber.
Seriously.
Yeah, but I personally always share them.
No, exactly.
yeah,
no,
facts,
totally. I would not
yeah,
drink
yeah.
this by myself.
Yep. You
No,
buy
you
a
should.
bottle,
It would be funny.
and just like Matt said, you save it for that special occasion.
Yeah.
You know, you have a couple buddies over.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Does Epic have like diehard fans that are, I have 2008 variant of this, 2019, like all the different variants. How does it change, or do you keep the same recipe?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
For a while there, I was checking Untapped, just trying to keep tabs without getting like too sucked into the wormhole or the rabbit hole that Untapped is.
Untapped
We'll
sucks.
get there.
Untapped.
Don't worry.
And I pretty regularly see people crack open bottles of Big Bad Baptist from 2015 and earlier. And then we've got all these different variants that we release every year. So it's fun seeing those all kind of come out of the woodworks right around this time of year when it starts to get colder and people are kind of going back to those heavier beers.
Nice.
But yeah, we do change the flavor profile. We change the malt bill from time to time, and the barrels are almost never the same.
Right.
It's hard to get those barrels exactly the same.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
So let's talk about some of the other beers that you had. You mentioned the lower ABV, West Coast, East Coast kind of IPA. But what are some of the other ones you're known for in Salt Lake City and then Colorado?
Yeah, we do a huge, we have a wide variety of beers. We mostly have a strong foothold on those higher ABV beers just to kind of go against the norm here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
But Spiral Jetty is a huge one. Spiral Jetty IPA, sorry, that's that kind of a mix, leans a little bit towards the West Coast style. And then when we when we added on to Colorado, when we opened up that brewery there, we brewed an Escape to Colorado IPA, which is more of a blend as well. And it's kind of a mix between, it's leans a little bit heavier on the East Coast side, so a bit hazier.
Cool.
Higher ABV as well, I would assume, because Escape to Colorado.
Yeah, they're both around.
Oh, they're both around the same thing.
6.5 to 7. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, we've got at least 24 beers, different styles in stock here on State Street, and we've got like well over 100 total. There's a lot to keep track of.
In my research of Epic, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys have a pretty strong seltzer game. Is that due to the lower ABV laws or just demand in the area?
It's mostly due to demand.
Your brewers didn't wake up and say like, "Damn, I just want to brew seltzers."
Yeah, they had a huge craving.
Yeah, I don't think has any brewer ever said like, "Damn, I can't wait to brew seltzers."
I don't think anyone said.
I don't think we've had a brewer say that. I think we've had them say, it's just like the haze pays kind of deal.
Yeah,
They've been interested. We had one brewer who was interested in like the flavors, like they like the fruity flavors. So
Yeah.
fuck it, I
River
love
Sticks
seltzers.
was really
River Sticks.
Yeah,
but
she was
that
into
was
but it was like a cocktail thing.
That was
like
a
it was a little
cocktail.
different.
Yeah, that was like high ABV.
Yes. Right. It was a little different.
A little different.
Well, fuck it, I love
Anyways.
seltzers, so talk about them.
We kind of started thinking about it in late 2018 and then brewing them in 2019. And back then there was a gap around like in the better for you category of seltzers. So those ones that kind of
Low calorie.
low calorie. Most of them were pretty low cal, but the ones that actually use real fruit, real ingredients.
Oh, gotcha.
And so that was kind of what we strived for. Since then, there's every other brewery and their dog has opened up a seltzer
And their dog.
company that does that.
I want a dog seltzer.
So yeah, we do real fruit in all of them.
Yeah.
That's kind of the forte, and those flavors do come out.
Yeah,
pretty strong.
you taste the difference when you're using fresh and real ingredients.
Yeah, instead of extract, for sure.
Correct.
Totally
You know,
do.
and I think that goes across not just like the beer industry, but like food industry. Like when you go to a restaurant, you can tell instantly if it's fresh or if it's, you know, some previously frozen.
Like fish, like seafood. You can-
Exactly like seafood. I'm not gonna go there.
What percentage of your sales are, if you know off the top of your head, is seltzer versus beer at this point?
I'm not sure, but definitely not the majority.
Okay.
I mean, we're still hardcore brewery focused.
Yes.
Ryan, we should chug them this weekend.
Chug 'em?
Why not?
Damn, why not?
Why not? We'll do it for the gram.
Yeah.
We do it all.
Gram.
Speaking of the gram, you're in marketing and social media. How important is that for a brewery that, you know, in Salt Lake City?
Yeah, it's pretty huge. I mean, it's a free platform to reach all of our fans and their friends who are also into craft beer or seltzer even, or just alcoholic beverages. So it's a pretty sweet venue for free advertising.
So my question is, what's the best one? What's the most toxic one? And which one's up and coming for you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh, yeah, that is a great
Damn.
question. I think Instagram's the best right now.
I'd agree.
You've got that
Totes.
combination of showing a really gorgeous picture of whether it's food or beer or whatever industry you want.
Or a
and
picture
then
of
having
me.
that
No, I'm kidding.
of you dressed as a
Gecko. I was about to say, yes, Gecko, Matt.
Gek, therapy gecko. Shout out.
The one I hate the most. I mean, we were talking about it earlier. Untapped. It's
Ooh, so you're
the
yeah.
Yes.
beer.
I told you to come.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Untapped.
We're going to talk about that, but I want to know what's the up and coming one, because I think I know
Yes.
what you're going to say, but
I think you want me to say TikTok.
I do. Do you not think it's up and coming?
I'm still in the camp that thinks it's a fad and it's gonna
Okay.
go away just like Vine.
Is it illegal because of color? Is it illegal because of Utah? Is it banned in Utah? No, I'm just kidding.
I think somebody's on TikTok, but nobody's saying like there's no breweries in town saying, "Oh, follow us on TikTok to see our next release."
Yeah, there's a couple. I will be honest. There's a couple that we do follow, and I have looked through if we've interviewed a brewery and we're like, oh, we want to tag them because we do our announcement video sometimes.
Yeah,
on
we always
TikTok,
find them or
and
try to.
I'll tag the brewery and then I'll notice they have no followers, so they have the account. So there's a couple breweries. Like, does Epic have an account?
I don't think we have an account yet.
You
I
better
should
do it
grab
before.
that username.
Yeah, I gotta grab the username. No, but
Smart.
so you think it's a fad, kind of like Vine? I mean, Vine was around for 2 years. People made money off of Vine.
A solid 2 years.
Oof, yeah, people did make a lot of money off of Vine.
So
yeah,
But so what do you think the up and coming one is?
I don't know if there is an up and coming one, to be honest. I think we're pretty steadily here with Instagram up top, Facebook just beneath it, and then I think Twitter is a few steps behind just for craft beer. It's
yeah.
great for other things.
So it's like Voldemort. I really don't want to say the name. Like, I think as a podcast, we should restrict from saying the name.
The app that shall,
not be named. Yeah.
Yes.
Guess what? I'm gonna say it.
Say it.
Untapped.
So,
Oh, gosh.
So, why does Untapped suck in Gus's mind? Why does it suck?
Because you can't win. Nobody wins on Untapped.
No one wins.
I like that.
It's true.
You've got people who a lot of great people use Untapped. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like a lack of understanding the beer. You've got someone who says, "Man, this was the best out in the world. This changed my life. Everybody should drink this. 3.5 stars." And then the very next review is, "Man, this was terrible. I wouldn't feed this to my worst enemy. I would have poured it down the drain, but it wasn't worthy of my drain. Just
Oh my God.
absolutely diss it, and then 3.5 stars.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that's just it's old for me.
Definitely.
Do you see the reviews where they say, oh, man, I hate brown ales? 1 star.
1 star. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, all right, thanks buddy. Next.
So Gus, you are social media marketing, right? If you worked at Untap a day, what would be the one thing that you'd want to change about the app then?
Ooh.
If I worked for Untap for the day,
You
honestly,
can't say
I think they're
bankrupt them
doing a
and
lot of
shut.
cool stuff.
No, come on. What cool stuff are they doing?
I mean, it's like an interactive community of people who can bond over something. And I've seen
Totally.
it happen. People comment on each other's photos and they're like, oh, that's great. Let's meet up because they're old friends or whatever.
At the base of it, they're all beer lovers, like for the most part, right? So,
But
At one point.
right, yeah.
My biggest gripe with Untap, and I am not trying to put I am. You know what? Fuck it. I'm
I was
putting my
like, you
personal
clearly
opinion.
are. So,
Is
do
that
it.
certain breweries are at a disadvantage, right? If they're not starting out at a 4 or a 3.5 star, it's an upward battle, right, for them. So breweries that have the marketing to have better social media, have that presence, and get their beer into the market, they're going to have a leg up over. So they're at a disadvantage. So Untap's good for those mid to upper tier breweries, but for the people just starting out, in my opinion, like, what benefit does it have other than they're not going to get as many check-ins, they're not going to get the attention, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it from that perspective before.
Well,
Before I got here, we had a pretty good Untapped rating and a fuck ton of check-ins. Sorry, I don't know if I can
You can
swear on
you
this.
can.
Yeah.
You're
We've
allowed.
been swearing the entire episode. It's
But-
all good.
So when you mentioned a fuck ton of check-ins, right? How many breweries, though, are in that area for Salt Lake City?
Within probably a 10-mile radius, I want to say there's about 20 now.
Wow, that's a
pretty-
decent
Back when
amount.
we started, it was
Yeah.
it was like 5.
You said 5, right? Yeah.
Have you seen, obviously within the last 18 months, COVID, right? Have many of those breweries expanded, or have you seen the industry kind of shrink in the area?
Nobody shut down.
That's
we
good.
had 2 breweries open up
Nice.
right after COVID lockdowns started. And actually another one just a couple blocks down there, they just announced plans to expand. So
Wow.
yeah, it's mostly been growth,
That's
thankfully.
awesome.
Yeah. I am curious how COVID changed the beer industry in Salt Lake City. But before we do that, a word from our sponsors. Take it away, sound guy Ryan.
Okay.
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 Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brute sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
So we touched upon COVID a little bit, but it's interesting. We saw in Massachusetts and other states that we've interviewed that rules and regulations within a state kind of expanded because of all the COVID restrictions, right? So did you see that in Utah at all? Were you guys able to do something that you weren't able to do in 2019 because of COVID?
In Utah, I didn't see any of that.
Oh,
Mormon's still at tight control.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no beer to go from like bars or anything. Whereas in Denver, actually, we saw quite a bit of that. We were able to start self-distributing, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
And a step in the right direction, in my opinion. And I believe they were able to do like cups to go where they put the little piece of tape over it that doesn't stop anybody. but it's
We don't have
convenient.
that here,
I
but I do
love
know
that.
about that rule. Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, not a lot in Utah, but thankfully, it doesn't seem like anybody was too negatively affected on the grand scheme of things. It definitely could have been worse.
Good.
Now, do you have like a Brewers Guild, Utah Brewers Guild that fights for legislation?
We do, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I don't
must
know a whole lot
all-
It
about it. I
happens.
know they do good work.
Now, I mean, if you were, and to put yourself into those rules, what is some things that you'd want to see out of the state of Utah in the next 5 years to kind of improve that to be more like the surrounding states?
I mean, tomorrow I really want to see full strength alcohol allowed in grocery stores.
Right.
That'd be cool. Right now we rely on state liquor stores for anything above that 5% mark.
Wow.
So although that got better recently, that would be awesome to see in the next 5 years. Is it going to happen? Absolutely not.
Oh, you really don't? You don't think so?
Not in the next 5 years, maybe 15 to 20.
Oh, okay.
But actually, part of that big push was from tech. There's a lot of big tech coming in, and they're trying to recruit young people from out of town. And they get introduced to the alcohol laws here, and they say, "No way, I'm moving to a different city. Not going to take that job." So
It's just so
they're
That's
putting
so
pressure on that.
funny.
I was going to bring that up.
Dang.
Now, is it still true that like bars and restaurants still have to go through the state liquor stores in order to get alcohol for the restaurant?
It sure is.
That's
wow.
crazy.
Oh, look at you
That's
putting
a
that
whole
nugget
nother
out. Yeah.
step.
Boom.
That's crazy.
They can buy direct from a brewery or distillery,
Yeah.
but usually it's 20 miles away, whereas a liquor store is only 5 or 10.
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah,
sense. And I could assume that economically that the state liquor stores take advantage of that. There's not that huge margin that we see wholesale versus retail, right? Over in New England.
Oh yeah, the state definitely want to keep their liquor stores in check because they make a lot of money off of it, and it goes to good things. There's a 78% markup on beer or on alcohol.
Yeah.
It's nuts, right?
That's
but it's going
insane.
towards
Oh my
it's going towards education. We don't have a lottery here, and that's what a lot of lotteries go towards in other
okay.
states.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point. Good point.
And it funds other things.
See,
Yeah.
alcohol can be a good thing.
Alcohol is a good thing.
Yeah.
So I guess we talked about like the state enough, but what's next for Epic?
Yeah, I think strengthening our roots right here at home. We've kind of got this perception about us that we jumped ship and went to Colorado and we don't care about Utah anymore. So I definitely want to increase our visibility here around town and throughout the state.
Gus, this is your chance.
Yeah, you know what? Tomorrow,
Tell the listeners. Tell the listeners.
Yeah.
You care about it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. There's a reason we're here and where we're at, and it's because of the people, our neighbors. It's not because of people on the West Coast or on the East Coast. You guys are great. Thanks for drinking our beer, but we're not here because we've got a whole bunch of fans in Massachusetts.
No,
We're here
you're not.
because our neighbors love us.
Yeah.
So I got a random question. I've been wanting to ask this. So as a marketer, take us through your day. Like, what do you do throughout your day? You're just taking photos all day? You're just posting on Instagram all day? What do you do?
Yeah, that changes up a lot. It depends on what I'm slacking at the moment. I hadn't gotten a lot of content recently, so this morning I spent some time getting content. So it was a lot of photos, and then just trying to get copy ready. Usually it takes me a couple efforts to make sure the copy's nice and correct, so I don't just try to bang out a whole bunch of posts or like press releases at once. I work on them over time. Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, it's scattered.
Yeah.
No 2 days are alike.
Do you have like
That's for
post
sure.
plan for like the entire week, the entire month kind of a thing?
At one point, I was scheduled out 2 weeks, and I tried to
Ooh.
keep it that way, but that did not last.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So marketers, right? I mean, we see a lot of influencers. We try to consider ourselves anti-influencers, but we get in that realm too, I guess sometimes. But are influence important?
Yeah. Before I was working for Epic, I believe we had a handful, maybe like 10. And I think there was a reason we stopped doing that. That was probably back in 2017 or 18. Since then, we've kind of tossed the idea around, but right now it's not any part of our marketing strategy at the moment.
So
Any reasons behind that?
Yeah, we did some cross comparisons on Google. So we use Google advertising, and we looked at the potentials from I forget what influencer website it was, but they said we'd get this many views from their accounts if they were to repost us. And it just wasn't worth it. We get more bang for our buck out of Google advertising.
Yeah. Makes
Now,
sense.
at the same time, like it's more meaningful to see an influencer holding a beer can rather than some pop up on your
Right.
Facebook or whatever. But yeah, it wasn't cost effective in the end.
And I will say that around here, I think that there's more influencers that will post about a particular brewery without being paid from said brewery, right? Like they care about the brewery, and they're
I
like,
think they're
let's-
unofficial.
Correct.
Unofficial
They're unofficial influencers. Like we see a lot of those.
People think we're not unofficial influencers. We're not.
Correct.
Yes,
Because we really like their beer. And like all the other breweries that we talk about from a day-to-day basis, I don't really hear a lot of people just doing influencers. Like they're expecting something from the brewery.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Around this area. Like we really don't see that a lot.
Yeah,
Like,
not anymore. Yeah.
There's like a handful, but I think the majority are, hey, let's just support, New England.
Well, especially with COVID,
or-
I think that was a big COVID thing, honestly. It's just like, we just need to support breweries. We're not looking
Correct.
for anything.
Yeah,
So,
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious for, like, you mentioned, making sure that Utah is known, like that you guys love them, that you're not defecting and you're not going to Colorado. But, like, do you have any plans for expansion in Utah or any distribution beyond Utah and Colorado?
No, right now, I don't think there's any plans to add any more distribution. And with the state of the world, we're not trying to expand in-house right here in Utah at the moment. We've got a pretty small corner of State Street. There's not a lot of room for us to even add a patio.
Oh, wow.
So we'd really have to choose wisely if we were to open up a tap room in another part of town. So yeah, not at the moment. That would be great, though. I think that would be a lot of fun.
So we always want our listeners to go out to these breweries that we interview far and away from us. And we want them to go with like a destination in mind, right? So like when I go out, I was just in Texas, right? And I wanted to know like where's the best place to get a burger? There's the best place to get, that dive bar experience. And I don't know, what should be the third one today?
Chinese.
Ooh, Chinese. Best Chinese restaurant in Salt Lake City.
Probably doesn't exist.
We do have pretty good Mexican food here.
Okay.
Do you mind if
Random.
I switch that over
Yes.
to Mexican?
Definitely.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it. I love Mexican food. Yeah.
I can't say I've had Chinese in like the last 2 years.
Yeah.
We're not exactly known.
It's so funny. Like I have friends that live in Texas. I have friends that live in Florida, and they're like, I cannot wait to get back to like your area, the East Coast, to get like really good Chinese food. So it's like
Random.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have great Mexican food.
Yeah.
Oh,
But we have not good Mexican food. I mean, we have good Mexican food, but not like it is
it's not great.
abroad.
Amazing.
There's like far and few between. right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what it's like for Chinese food above a bar. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some street tacos that I like to go to, taco carts. But the one that I'll, what do you guys say? Like, what were you saying earlier? Like a shout out.
Yeah. Recommendations.
Yeah, a recommendation. Yeah. Words.
Good eats.
You're right. Yeah, I'm still waking up over here.
Yeah.
My shout out is to Red Iguana. They've been around the block. They've been here for a few years.
Nice.
They make some really awesome food. They've got great drinks. It's just a fun spot to go to.
Cool.
I recommend it to everybody who comes into town.
Yeah. And then best place to get a burger and best place to have that dive bar experience.
Ooh, my favorite burger is from this place right by the University of Utah campus. It's called B&D Burgers.
What does B&D
It's
stand
not
for?
super well known, but it's really good. Sorry, what was that?
What does B&D stand for? Do you know?
I have no idea.
I'd like to think
It-
burgers and delights, but
That's what I was saying. Burgers and delights. I love it. Let's go with
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm almost sure the B is for burgers.
Yeah.
that. Probably.
The whole vibe in there reminds me of Bob's Burgers. You
Oh,
got
cool.
like the same
Yes.
dude working behind the counter.
Love it.
You can tell for like 40 years, and he's just enjoys whipping up burgers. And it's just a fun little diner.
You know that griddle is special. Like,
That griddle is
Yes.
special.
yeah.
So yeah, that is some good food. Not just their burgers, their shakes are really awesome, of course. And Dive Bar, I'm torn between either a place called Ex-Wives Joint that's really close to my apartment.
Love it.
That's such a funny name.
It's
Do they sell T-shirts there? Will you send me one?
I wish. I don't think they're doing anything other than turning on the lights when they show
Yeah.
up. I mean, it's pretty divey.
perfect.
Do they still allow smoking in there too?
Honestly, it smells pretty rank in there.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's not smoke, it's like sweat. But
Yeah.
it's a great place. It's a fun spot. And then the other one would be Johnny's on Second. That's
Huh.
another fun dive bar. Good
Cool.
pool hall.
Sweet. I have a question.
All right.
Okay, so if you are on Instagram and you're like, I want to take an amazing photo, like it's a ton of likes, right? Ton of hits, clicks, whatever.
Engagement.
Engagement. That's the word. Great word. Okay.
Words.
What are your tips for that? Do you use a fancy camera? Are you cool to use your iPhone? How do you set it up?
Yeah, I think it's tough to hit all three marks. For me, it's, of course, taking a nice shot, something that's photogenic. People like to look at things that are symmetrical. Usually that helps. Or like play off of their senses. If you're posting around lunchtime, make sure there's some food in there.
You know what? That's cool.
Noted.
And keeping captions short and sweet, that tends to work better. Nobody wants to read a novel. You can include like all the detailed information, but like make sure it's separate. You know how people do like the little dot
Dot, dot, dot.
in
Yes.
Instagram.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, that tends to help. And then a call to action. Try
Yeah.
to get people to comment.
All right.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
We try all of that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think that's
We'll
the
try
game. I
again.
think
You never
that's,
know.
I think that's the game.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, unfortunately, it's predictably unpredictable.
Yeah.
Do you find that posts with pictures of people are more effective
Then just the
than
beer.
just the beer?
Yeah.
I wish I had more posts of people with like smiling faces, because I do think, just in my personal opinion, I do think it's more effective, but I haven't seen any numbers to back
To
that up.
comment. Yeah.
Get on
But
that.
yeah, people like to look at smiling faces for sure.
Aw.
So we want our listeners and people who maybe are curious about Epic Brewing in your area to go to Epic Brewing. So where are you physically located, and where are you on the interwebs?
Yeah, we are physically located in Salt Lake City. We're on 825 South State Street. And you can visit us at epicbrewing.com.
Social media?
And yeah, our social handles are at Epic Brewing SLC.
Ooh, that's
Ooh, Salt Lake City.
We have at Epic Brewing DEN for Denver as well.
Ooh,
I like
I
And
like
it's
that.
the same handle across the board.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, Gus, thank you for doing this interview today.
It's been real.
And I hope
Thank you guys for having me.
I hope you make it out to our area, and we hope we make it out to your area, because I'd like to hang out with you. It'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, let me know when you're in Salt Lake if you guys want to go skiing. I hear we have pretty good snow.
Oh, I would pay money
Some
to
powder.
see. I would pay money to see Ryan ski. Ryan, if we go, will you ski for us?
No.
You could sled.
My knees
Can we have
can't
you
do it.
sled?
I've tried.
Ryan, you could do it.
No.
We'll do it.
They've got these bikes now you can sit on while you're
Oh,
skiing.
that's sick.
What? Yes.
That's cheating.
Oh, we could do it. I want to see it.
It looks so dangerous.
I want
As soon as
to-
you fall off, the bike's flying.
Oh my god, it's a yard sale instantly.
Everyone's injured.
It's a bad yard sale.
Well,
It's ugly.
Gus, I might have to take you up on that, because I do like skiing. So I'm gonna hit you up,
Yeah, hit me up.
and we'll go to
You
ex-wives
guys have
after.
my contact information. At least Erica does.
Yeah,
I got your deets.
and we'll go to ex-wives after.
Yeah.
Do you
That
do-
sounds like a good day.
Do you do pickleback shots?
I'm up for picklebacks. I'm not sure if Ex-Wives has pickle juice though.
We can bring our own. We'll figure
Yeah,
it
we
out.
can
They
bring our
probably
own.
don't mind.
Have a little
Dive
flask.
bar. Found it.
Well, Gus, everyone listening at this point, this is the amazing part of the interview. We do the outro right now. So we have an awesome episode lined up for you for all of November. We got some excellent breweries out there. So look for our next social media post, and we will disclose every episode we are releasing this November. And if you are feeling frisky, risky, and intrigued, follow us on Patreon, because there's going to be a picture of me as a gecko
And
on
maybe
there.
Ryan
And maybe
in his
Ryan.
naked costume.
Probably not. This isn't OnlyFans. There's no knock against OnlyFans. but
Extra sexy bathtub beer.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but Gus, thank you again. Make sure you make your way to Epic Brewing in Salt Lake City or in Denver, Colorado. And if you enjoyed this episode and you want to hear more of our back catalog, they are available at www.brewroots.com and on your Apple iTunes, on Spotify, Google Play, and
Stitcher,
SoundCloud,
etc., 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 everything.
And, just give us a share.
Yeah.
If you like the episode, share it.
And happy Halloween, y'all. We love you, and stay safe, and make sure not to eat open candy because you don't want people drugging you.
Nope.
Nope. Cheers.